Bienvenidos a su segmento financiero Cash Bootcamp. Mi nombre es Edmi Salazar. Nadie quiere hablar de dinero, pero está en todas partes. Finanzas, dinero, plata, inversiones, la bolsa, se cae el mercado, la recesión. Es muy importante prepararnos. Ya no hacemos nada como en el pasado. Hello. Hi, everybody. How are you? So, you're probably wondering what is it that we are working on today, and we are going live. I know it's been a very long time since I haven't been connecting, since I haven't been with you guys. However, that is going to stop. So, during all this whole time, if you didn't know, I've been working super hard empowering what is the financial education and what is our Cash Bootcamp about. So financial education is one of the best ways you can invest your money and your time. And today, for all of you who are connecting, you are seeing this for the first time. And for those of you that you don't know me, my name is Edmi Salazar, and you can call me La Mimi. I am a financial architect with experience in the financial market for the past many years. However, there's no substitute for experience. So today, this event is about this webinar is about the question, what is going to happen with the market? What's going to happen with the market, and what is it that we are going to be expecting while we get ready, while you guys are connecting. I am going to turn off my phone so I know what's going on. And today, the name of the event is If You Got Cash for the Crash. So let's start. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you, so please bear with me that for us to get ready. So you got cash for the crash. The reality is that number one, I don't want you to freak out and to say, oh my gosh, we're gonna crash. We are every single day. And the one economy you need to be worrying about is not the global economy. We're going to talk about the economy you need to be worrying about, which is your economy. The reality is that when we go in cycles, right, everything goes up and down. The real estate market, the stock market, the forex market, the crypto market, and all these markets that sometimes we don't even understand, but we hear them and we think we know. So that needs to be over, especially now that we are getting ready for the next year, which is 2022. And, that's a pair number. According to some cultures, that's going to be the number of harvest. So for all of you who have been struggling and been working super hard for the past 2 years during the pandemic, this information is going to be super useful for you. And if you need to get more information, just let me know. So from riches to poverty, right? So have you ever felt like you have a PhD in financial mistakes? At least I know I have. One of the biggest things that we need to understand and we need to embrace, being successful at your finances. Just because you were successful at one time, it doesn't mean you are going to be successful at every time. This is a subject that they should be teaching us at school. Just the way we know how to talk and we learn languages, we need to know how to talk finance. So a little bit of my story. I completed school in the U.S., fell in love with the U.S. when I came super young. In 2005, I got my real estate license, just graduated from high school. 2008, I lost $3.2 million during the market crash because I was so ignorant financially. I didn't really understand what I was doing. I was really good at making money, but I sucked at keeping it. From 2008 to 2011, I moved to Miami. I learned real estate for the wealthy. The first time I was introduced to financial literacy with the wonderful Dave Ramsey, that I am such a proud member of that community, and I am a preferred coach for them. In my 30s, I moved back to Bolivia to start a family in 2011. 2015, back to the US with family. But shortly after, my husband left me, and I made some financial mistakes that nearly made me to go bankrupt. And this is a heart to heart, so you understand that you're not the only one if you're going through this. In 2019, I had a wake up call to become a financial architect. I had already built my Dimavi Homes brand and the Cash Boot Camp. And I took a 3-day trip to Bolivia, and the country shut down, and I couldn't come back for 16 months. And I was like, wow, where did everything just go? Like, what do I do now? And during this time, I studied and I coached with Tony Robbins. I became a Dave Ramsey certified. And then I partnered with SWAT Trading to empower women in financial investments and wealth building. And to 2021, we started this amazing Fierce Woman Investor Movement and the SWAT Trading Live program. I always joke and say to myself, I rather kind of find first my stability financially before I can even get to anything else in life. Sometimes we invest our time on dating or things that doesn't really serve us because we just lost. And I just needed to just understand that there was a powerful message that we needed to deliver to those that want to hear like you. So let me ask you something. I want you to ask this question, and you can type it for those of you who are on my Instagram. For those of you who are on my Instagram, actually, let me just reply this. I apologize because some of the connections is going down. And we just need to get this done, because that's what it's all about, right? So let me ask you something. Do you know, or do you have an idea what percentage of Americans can cover a $400 emergency? Just think about it. This is even like before anything else. So 44% before COVID, 44% of Americans that live in this country they are not able to cover a $400 emergency. So what this means is that some people, some families, they are $400 away from a financial crash or from a bankruptcy. Now, we talk so much about money. A lot of us came to this country because of the opportunities that could bring us to make more money. However, we don't really understand how money works, right? So we are so good at making money. They teach us from high school, you need to get good grades so you can get, you can be the best at work. You need to be the best so they can pay you more. And we constantly educating ourselves, and we constantly improving ourselves so we can get better at making money. And then we see so much commercials about, oh, spend money, spend, buy. And I'm a guilty of it. I have a degree in marketing, and constantly that's what we are trained for. We are trained to sell you things. We are trained to make you believe that you need certain things, but then there's not much about saving. Imagine if you could see a Coca-Cola sign all over the world that instead of saying Coca-Cola would say save, invest, save, invest. I'm pretty sure we'll be saving and investing more money than that, right? But there's nobody investing all this money in that type of advertising. So that's one of the things that we are doing. And then the next one is investing. So when it comes to investing, we even it just gets lower and lower. And then we are terrible at protecting money, and we really don't know how to transfer. We really don't know. We get so busy at making money that we don't even think that there are different avenues and different financial instruments that can help you protect and transfer your wealth. So the challenges that we have right now, right? The challenges that we are facing right now is, one, to protect your family the right way. Protect your family, your life, your health, or you get a disability, right? The other challenge is to be able to reduce liabilities and get out of debt sooner. We are so sold, and we are so trained that it's okay to live in debt, especially in America. And I can say this because I come from Bolivia, where if you don't have the money, you just don't buy things, right? Credit is a very new thing for us over there. And then the unpredictable changes that oh my gosh, like COVID just showed us so much stuff that can happen to our finances because of changes in job and careers and business. And then the other challenge that we are going to have, especially those of you who are taking care of yourself, the person from who used to look 50 years old 50 years ago is not the same. So JLo, for instance, right? Because of science, because of health, and there's so many things that we are doing to our bodies, we are going to live longer. And that's going to be a problem if you're living longer and you don't have enough money to be able to afford the type of lifestyle you have today. That's going to be a challenge. So the challenges are protect your family, reduce liability, unpredictable changes in job and career, and then not have enough income. So you must take control of your future. And you really, really, really have to make this your priority. The same way you make your priority anything that has to do with COVID, because it's so new, you can either have a reason or you can either have excuse, but you cannot have both. And if you stick to this presentation until the end, you're going to get information that is going to change your life. And I have done my part. My purpose here is to be able to serve you to the best of my abilities so you can take control of your future, because it's just like building a house. You must build a house from the ground up. And what's happening today, the way we do investments right now, the way we do it right now is we start building our home like, imagine building a house upside down, right? In fact, let me show you something. So this is my house, right? This is the house that I'm going to build in Puerto Rico. It's not there yet, but this is a visualization, right? But I'm going to show you something. So if you build, the way people are buying and doing things right now is like this, upside down, right? They don't have a good foundation. So they start with investment. So the correct way to see this, so for those of you who are on Instagram, if you want to see the presentation, is on Facebook, but right now it's just audio for you guys. However, the way it works right now is like this, because you first buy the house and then you worry about managing your debt, and then you don't have an emergency fund if you can't pay your mortgage, and then your investment is just gonna collapse. So the way it needs to work, you need to have a very, very, very strong foundation, right? So basically the way it works is, so the foundation is your protection. Think about the walls being your behavior and the way you manage debt. The windows and doors are your emergency fund or your success fund, which is what I like to call it. And the roof is finally the investment. So you first protect yourself, then you control and learn how to manage your debt and how to manage your behavior with money. Then you have to have at least 6 months for a rainy day. You need to know exactly how much money you need to survive every single month. You need to have and know your magic number, the way you worry about the weight on the scale, the way you worry about how much money is in your bank account. You need to know exactly how much money you need to be able to survive in case you don't work, or in case you're not here, or in case something happens, or not even for that. How about you start saving for a vacation? How about you start? That's why I like to call it my success fund, my happy fund, my fiesta fund. Because, when you say, oh, emergency fund, you're already like, oh my God, emergency, I'm never going to have it. But then you're not excited to save for it. But if you find an excitement to be able to save for them, like for instance, my fiesta fund, right? Trust me, I'm going to be saving for my fiesta fund, because that fund is going to be for traveling. It's going to be for good stuff. So just learn how to do that. So building wealth has a rule, has a formula. And one of the formulas that I know that I've learned is basically 10 times of your income is what you need to properly protect your family. And 20 times of your income to have enough for retirement. In our courses, because this is just the introduction, I'm not going to be able to teach you everything here. However, since you want to know more, you just have to send us a message and we'll be able to let you know how we can do this. There is so many secrets and so many hacks that we're gonna be able to share with you in order to help you how this money works. So the wealth formula, right? So what you do is 10% is you get it from the age of the highest income earner. So in this case, if you're single, is your only income. If you have a partner, so you get 10% of the highest income earner in your family. And then you combine the household income, and that's where your wealth it is. So for instance, right? Let's say you're 35 years old and you have an income of $55,000. Your spouse is 39 years old and has an income of $60,000. How much wealth should your household have? How much wealth should your household have? So the way it works is, so you get 10%, right? So that's 3.9. You multiply that by $115,000, and then you add that, make that addition. So if you are watching this on Facebook, like I told you, the screens is there. So you need $448,500,000. And you're like, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to be able to save this money? Well, just do it like the wealthy do. Just learn what they do. They leave clues everywhere. You just need to make a decision to choose them and to follow them. Right? So now, one thing that I wish, or maybe I was taught, but I missed the class or I was never interested, is the power of the compound interest. That's what we really need to understand. The compound interest is the formula that's going to save your life when it comes to your finances. Yes, I said it. So if you don't remember, if you can't remember even one thing out of this presentation, I want you to remember the rule of 72. The rule of 72 is a wealth formula developed by Albert Einstein that basically tells you if you divide 72 in the amount of interest of the debt or of the investments that you make, it's going to let you know the numbers of years that you need for your money to double. So I'm going to give you an example. So, when you buy a house, for instance, you get an interest rate of 4%. So this means if you divide 72 divided by 4, that means every 18 years, your debt is going to double. Yes. So if you buy a house for $300,000, right? When in the next 18 years, it's going to be 47. You're going to be, let's say you're 29 years old. You just bought a house at $300,000, right? And then in 18 years, you're going to be 47. And your debt is going to double. So your debt is not going to be 300,000 anymore. It's going to be 600,000. That's why people normally refinance. And then if you add another 18 years to it, you're going to owe to the bank for a house that you paid $300,000, $1,200,000. Yes. Yep. I can teach you more about this in one of my courses, but for now, I think that is enough. Right? I don't want to scare you anymore, but it's the reality. So if you have a mortgage right now, if you have a mortgage right now and you are not making a strategy to pay off the house sooner, or if you're not refinancing to a 15-year-old mortgage, you are probably going to be paying this for the rest of your life. And you can ask any 80-year-old, that's what they're doing, and that's the way the system is. In fact, when you go and close on a house, when they show you the documents, they're telling you this. But because we are so excited buying it, we don't read it, right? So it's not anybody's fault. It's just the way the system works. Now let's talk about retirement investments. So now let's say you are 29 years old and you put $10,000 in an account that's going to pay you 8%, right? So if this account is paying you 8% at age 29, you have 10,000. So if you can invest your money and then you can do nothing to your money, by the age 38, it's going to be 20,000. By age 47, it's going to be 40,000. At age 56, 80,000. This is the power of the compound interest. But where do you find these accounts? Where do you find them? Well, I know where they are. So you just have to join us to more education and we'll tell you, because this is what the good thing about the Cash Bootcamp. That's who we are. We are super strict. If you want to join our program and you really want to get control of your finances, you have to understand that you are going to be like just getting crushed with your money. You're going to understand how to be able to do this with your money, right? So now let's talk about credit card debts. So I want you to today, not for me, but for your future self, go back to your credit cards and find out how much interest rate you're paying. Stop believing that you need credit to buy a house in America. You don't. There are alternatives that you can buy a house without credit. Yes, as crazy as it sounds, they are. They are alternatives, right? So if your interest rate is 16.5, you divide 72 by 16.5, that means that every 4 years, your credit card debt is going to double. It's going to double, and you are going to end up with so much money. So if you have a credit card debt right now, so let's say at age 19, you got a credit card for 10,000. The interest rate was 16.5%, and you didn't do anything to it, right? You didn't pay your debt, but you spent all the money. In 4 years, you're gonna owe to the credit card company 20,000. In another 4 years, you're gonna owe them 40,000. Another year, you're gonna owe them 31,000. And by 35, you're gonna owe them $160,000 because of the power of the compound interest. So I really, 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 not me, but you should take into consideration this information in order for you to make a decision. Where do you put your money? So where do you put your money? The market is divided in 3 different areas. So think of it as your money as the seed, and you need to decide what soil you're going to use in order to make it grow. So you can either have it to tax now, that you're going to pay taxes now, that you're going to pay taxes later, or the accounts that you never pay taxes. And I'm talking about the United States of America in this case. So the tax now areas are what we know: the checking accounts, savings accounts, CDs, stocks, and mutual fund. Those different financial instruments like the checking and savings, because you go to a bank, that's what they promote. The CDs, and the stocks, we all know what it is. If you don't, make sure you sign up for our classes so you can understand the ABCs of the financial world. Now, tax later are the 401ks. 401ks are the same thing as being on the stock market, because even your money that is in your checking account or your savings account, that money is not in a little box waiting for you. That money is being invested in the money market. The money market is the stock market. So you need to make a decision. They're playing with your money. Every time you go to the bank and deposit money to them, they're playing with your money. You're just not getting any of it because we don't know. So the 401k is the same thing. You are in the stock market. Your money is being on the stock market, and sometimes you don't even know how much is your balance. So the next thing you need to do is just understand what is your 401k doing, right? Because that's what we're here for. We need to understand. And then you have the annuities, and you have the pensions, and you have the IRAs and the 403bs. However, these accounts you are going to pay taxes later, and you are going to pay fees on this. And sometimes we don't think about the fees. And then when it's time to get this money out, then you're like, oh my gosh, I had to pay so much money. So make sure you understand where's your 401k. Because when the market is being corrected, the reason why you want to have cash is so you take opportunities of the crash. As bad as it sounds, you invest and you buy when there is blood on the floor. And trust me, when it comes to real estate, it's coming. It already happened on the stock market. We had an amazing 2020. 2021 was a disaster, but people are still making money because every time the market moves, whether it goes up or down, you will make cash and ride the wave, right? And then you have the tax never category, which is your Roth IRAs, your 529 college savings, and your life insurance and your long-term care. So this is where the life insurance is my favorite subject. It's my favorite subject because it's something that it took me a very long time to understand how important they were. And I didn't even know what it was until a good friend of mine, Edward Williams, who is an amazing financial advisor. He's a wealth advisor, actually. He came up to me and told me, he was the only one out of my friends that came up to me and said, hey, you need to get ready for your daughters. There's things that you need to do that is going to be able to help you set up for the future. And I was like, okay, let me learn more about it. But I got educated and I chose whatever is the best into investments, because these instruments, they make you an amazing income that not only protects your life, but it also protects your health. It also protects everything that you are working for. It's just crazy the way we operate, especially in America, because we are so busy making money that we think we're never going to get sick, that we're never going to get ill, that we're never going to retire, and we will. So understanding and putting a house to every single dollar that you own is going to take you there. Understanding where you invest your time in, with who, and what is the return you're getting is going to help you get there. If you treat your money the way you treat your boyfriend, if you're a jealous person, or the way you treat your kids, it's the same way. You need to know where is your money. You need to know who is hanging out with. You need to know if these people are teaching something good to your life or to your kids, or what's happening. And you need to understand if this person passes or goes away, what's going to happen to this money. It's not like people always say, oh, I don't want to talk about how much I make, because it's such a taboo. Nah, it's not. We came to this world to be happy, and we don't need money to be happy. Who says that? We need money to survive and to pay for everything that we have in this world. So don't be delusional like money doesn't bring you happiness. No, it doesn't. But it covers your food, right? So, and the next part is, for those of you who are now watching the presentation, it is on Facebook, and I'm getting so many messages. I'm not going to be able to reply right now, but I'll get it later. So let me tell you this. So now, these markets, we have three different markets that people don't understand. So you have the fixed market, where it's basically the most amount of money you're going to make is 4% return. When I say return, to answer the question to one of our guests, return is in Espanol ganancia. Okay, you got perfect. So you up to 0 to 4% is how much you're gonna get. In the variable market, you are going to be. We make fun of this and say, you are constantly praying a lot because you're like, oh my God, I made the stock market not fall today, so I can make, I don't lose money. But that market is not for everybody. And on that market are your stocks, your 401ks, your 403bs. And on the fixed market, it's very safe, but your money doesn't grow. So the only money that you should have in a checking or savings account is your 6 months success fund. So that's the only money should be there. The rest of your money should be invested in a market that is protected, that is guaranteed that you're not going to lose any money. And then on the variable market, there is an unlimited growth because you can make as much money as you can, but then there's no protection. The risk is so high. It's so high. That's why people, they get into the stock market, for instance, and they're like, oh, no, people lose money in the stock market. Yes, because the stock market is the money market. You cannot expect not to lose in order to win. If you're never sad, you will never know what's happiness. If you're not broke, you will never know what's abundance. So we have to go through these stages. But however, you just need to be prepared. So that's what we're doing right now. We are preparing you for the crash, right? But remember, the economy, the number one economy you need to be worrying about is your economy, the one you can control, the one that you know what's coming, what's going, what's happening. Forget about the government, forget about what's happening out there, because if you know your finances, if you know your limit, if you know your floor, and you know your bottom, you know your ceiling, you know your bottom, you will be able to make decisions based on your market, based on what can you afford and how much risk you can take. So I am going to leave you with this, because there is another market that you need to learn about. And today we are just testing this amazing course, and we are going to be launching a tons of boot camp. Get ready for this. We've been working super hard in order to provide you this education to the best version that we can send it to you. I am so happy and grateful. With the entire 19 months, I've been training with the wonderful Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, and then our course is going to be on Mastermind, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Giving this information to you is really what moves me, what is my purpose, to be able to give back to this amazing industry that has been so wonderful to me and my family, that has allowed me to have the amazing blessings that I have, and just the wonderful people that I met during these years. So my name is Edmi Salazar. You can call me La Mimi. Follow us and get ready to join our Cash Bootcamp. So we are going to stay in touch. I'm sending you an avalanche of blessings, and I'll see you in the top of success.